Hey everybody, it's Suzanne. I'm making another version of the liquid soap. If you check on YouTube, there's one other method that I have there, and it's how I made a foaming liquid soap. Today I'm going to show you how I make liquid soap using 2 lyes. So you'll use your potassium hydroxide and sodium hydroxide and potassium, and so it is the KOH, which is your potassium hydroxide, and the NaOH, which is your sodium hydroxide. Okay, so before starting the video, I measured everything out, and I have measured in my 2 containers here 3.5 ounces of the potassium hydroxide and 2.3 ounces of the sodium hydroxide, and they're in here. Okay, then what you want to do is measure out your liquid. Whew, things are so hot. This is glycerin and water. Now, I think it was like the second, or it wasn't the first batch I ever made, but I think it was like the second one. I read that you can substitute for your liquid. You can put beer in there. So I made that once with beer. What it does is just make your soap darker, but a beer would be your liquid. And then the other one was for dishwashing detergent or dishwash soap. I made one with, it has, I boiled up potatoes and I used the potato water after I drained the potatoes. I saved the water out, and then like the next day, I had done that for supper, and then the next day I used that water. So I'm going to do another video on the potato water soap, and that'll make a nice dish detergent for your dishes. Nice and sudsy and lathery, and it cleans your dishes really nice. And I'll be doing that too. So back to this one. You melt and bring up to temperature 12 ounces of liquid. So if you want to use 12 ounces of beer, go ahead. I split it, and today I used 7 ounces of glycerin and 5 ounces of water. So that's the 12 ounces. So, and it's 200 degrees. You want to check it, make sure. Then add your lye flakes or lye beads. And that's what happens. So make sure that you stir, stir, stir. Don't stop. So I have 3 crock pots that you'll hear me talk about all the time. And when you make this enough times, you know which ones to use. Then I always use this little one for the lye. And it's real important to bring your liquid, whatever you choose to use. You can, all of them work great. I've worked with them all, and they all work great. I don't have any beer right now, or I would probably drink it. No, I'm kidding. I would use it if it makes a darker liquid is all, but it was good. Put my liquids into my oils. And we'll stick blend. When all that's complete, and then you do your dilution, and this is a 2-to-1 dilution, so it's whatever the batter I have in here is the 1, and then 2 more of water, so times 2 of water, whatever your batter is. And so I have my little worksheet here, and this here crock pot, I took it out and weighed it. It's 120 ounces, and so that's what it weighs empty. Alright, so once you get it all, your batter goes through the stages, the applesauce, the mashed potato. So once it goes through all the stages and it cooks and everything is done, then you weigh this again, and then you subtract what it is from the 120, and that's your entirety, your weight of your batter. Alright, so we will do that. Can't do it now, but you know, later. And then, so you take your batter weight, whatever your batter weight is, you'll see when we do get there, and then you times it times 2, because you're going to do a dilution of 2-to-1. So 2 parts water to 1 part batter, and that will be later. Okay, so this is good, and it's going to cook. Let's say it be a light trace. So also in the oils, when I measured out the olive oil, coconut oil, castor oil, shea butter, put that on in there and melted it. I also put aloe vera in there. So other than that, there's nothing else in there. I have all set to go later. I have my fragrance. What I do there is take 1 ounce of fractionated coconut oil. It's the fractionated one. I have it by the gallon, and then I just fill this here thing up. And so I put 1 ounce fractionated coconut oil in, and then I'm a consultant for Young Living, so lavender and tea tree. And I also put black cumin in there. And so this would be my antibacterial batch of liquid soap. The antibacterial and the antifungal, the tea tree, is said to help with that, and it does. And the black cumin, you can Google black cumin essential oil, and so that helps with skin problems. And that's what I'm basically making. So alright, this has been stick blended, and it's got to cook, and I'm going to check it every half an hour, and when it's ready, I'll come back. I'll turn the camera back on. So we'll see you in a little bit. the applesauce stage, and it kind of sort of still is, but it's getting thicker toward the mashed potato stage. That's why I turned the camera on. I wanted you to see the stages. So it'll get thick, and it'll get like mashed potatoes, and then it'll get Vaseline Alright, it's changing, and I'll come back in I don't think a half an hour, I think maybe 15 minutes. I'll come back and see what it's doing. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, I moved you down over here because the lighting is so bad, but I turned on the light and it still seems like it's so dark in here. I will be so glad when I get moved to my new soap shop. So, alright, it's like half an hour later, and let's just start testing here. It's a nice gel. It should be like that, like Vaseline. And this is my phenolphthalein. This lasts you about a year. I make a lot of soap. It lasts me so long. So here's my phenolphthalein. Can drop it all over there, and it does not turn a magenta red. It would be doing that if there was, it'd be, see that red right there? That it'd be bright magenta, and this is not. It didn't do anything to it. So, alright, so it's ready for the dilution part. What you need to do is weigh it now. So, probably can't see my scales. Okay. Here's my scales. Now weigh this whole pot right here. Turn it on first. That's a good idea. And I'm going to weigh this whole thing. So, 164.30, and you write that down on your little piece of paper. 164.30. Let's just see, 164.60. Got to give it a chance, get the scale a chance to catch up. 164.60. And I'm going to subtract what I weighed it empty, which was 120. And you subtract those two, and I have a batter weight of 64. 64.60 to be exact, but sometimes you can drop that 60. So to do this again, I weighed this empty before I even started. It was 120. Then I put the oils in and all that stuff and let it do all this till here. Then you weigh it again, it's 164.60, but we'll just say 164. So subtract 164 from 120, and it's 64. I mean, it's 44. What did I say? 64. 44.60. So, did I confuse you? I didn't mean to. 164 minus 120 is 44. Okay. 44 is my batter weight. Now I want to go 1 part batter, 2 parts water. So 44 and 44 is 88. So I need 88 water. Now the water is warm, but if you heated it, it would probably incorporate a little nicer, a little easier. So once the crock pot brings the water up to temperature, it will mix good with this gel. Right now, the reason why it's like this is the temperature. One is hot and one is cold. Hot and cold, oil and water don't mix. So, okay, I will let this come up to temperature, and then we'll do the next thing. Okay, see you in a little bit. Hey everybody. Okay, it is the next day. I stirred the batter there, and it kept there's just little gel things, and there was quite a few of them. And so what I ended up doing is I just put it on warm, put the crock pot on warm, and I came in and stirred and tried to break up the little hunks of gel. Some of them were kind of big, like a lemon, and then other ones were smaller, and so it obviously just, you can't hurry that recipe along. So what I ended up doing, like I did with the previous one, if you watched that one, I just put the crock pot on low, and when I went to bed, like it was 11:30, something like that, then I shut the crock pot off, and when I came in this morning and checked it out, it was good. So I guess it all depends on the heat that the crock pot throws off too. So anyway, so on my Word document on my computer, I went in and so this would be my worksheet that I would have for this particular recipe, and I hope you can see that. Thank God I didn't write stuff that much because my handwriting. But anyway, so it'd be all the time. This was what you would do too. It would be all the time. It would be the same thing because you know your weight of your crock pot's already figured out. So okay, so that's that. Now it looks pretty good, and so this is the tea tree, which is antibacterial, antifungal. So it's a nice hand soap for antibacterial. And then if, like in my case, I'm always thinking of ways for my husband. And knock on wood, his legs have really healed up a lot. So, okay, I had shut the crock pot off, and you can see it wants to clump already. So be careful not to make too much suds. But a little spritz of, just a half a spritz of alcohol will take care of that. So the essential oils, I have them in here. They are the Young Living, and I put that in fractionated coconut oil. So you can, if you're not familiar, you can Google tea tree essential oil, and it has a lot of good qualities for skin. Frankincense is another good one. Lavender to calm the nerves, that are closer to the upper, your skin has 3 layers to it, and there's nerve endings that are in there, so that's, you can get itchy or pain or whatever sensation or feeling. Lavender and chamomile help to calm the nerves. So I think it's about a 50-50, like 40 drops of tea tree and 40 drops of lavender. So, and then I put just a little bit of pomegranate, and that's just high in antioxidants. I think 5 drops of that. Okay, so I usually spray, even though everything is washed, I just usually spritz a little bit of alcohol and wipe it down, and that's just how I roll. Okay, so maybe a funnel. Funnel is probably good. I better spritz that too. Alright, so wipe everything down. So this recipe, why it's different is it has the shea butter in it, and my other recipe, my one other one that I have up there, doesn't. So of course this one is more moisturizing for the skin. Oh, that one was too full. Okay, there you have it. That's basically it. I don't really see any problems. This is a good recipe. There isn't really anything bad about it. It's like the other one, you kind of have to let it sit overnight. But the next recipe that I have made, and I liked it too, so I will share that with you, would be coming up. I guess what we're having for dinner tonight? Potatoes. Guess what I'm going to do with the water? Instead of putting it down the drain, down the sink, I'm going to save it out. And then tomorrow I will make a liquid soap recipe using potato water, and this would be for our dishes. So I'm going to make a dish soap, and it'll be with potato water. So I've made that before. I liked it. It really did a good job on dishes. I just love it, and I've made that before. I don't have any problems with it, and I think you all will like it too, so I'll share that. So that'll be the next recipe I do. And then there might be one other recipe that might be new to me too. I haven't made it, and I did save it though, and I'll see if I want to venture into that one. And it's one that you don't have to get to the gel phase and all that, so I'll see how that works. But anyway, you'll like this one here. This is antibacterial, and it's a great liquid soap. And if you like it, you can leave a comment or hit the like thing, subscribe, and I thank you for watching, and have a good day.